The city of Miami wakes up to chaos as a convoy explodes on the MacArthur Causeway just before sunrise. Flames rise against the orange skyline, and terrified drivers abandon their cars as masked gunmen disappear into the smoke. Within minutes, sirens cut through the humid air. Inside the Miami PD bullpen, Mike Lowry walks in wearing a sharp suit and his usual calm swagger. He studies the footage on a monitor without blinking. Beside him, Marcus Burnett struggles with a vending machine that just ate his last dollar. Marcus mutters that he is too old for sunrise explosions and broken snack machines. Mike smirks and tells him criminals do not schedule appointments. Their captain storms out of his office and slams a file down on the desk. The convoy was transporting seized crypto hardware tied to a global weapons network. Every drive is gone. The men who stole it knew exactly where to hit. Mike's eyes narrow. An inside job. Marcus shakes his head and says every time they say inside job it means more paperwork and less vacation. But when they review the security footage, Mike spots something familiar in the leader's movements. Tactical, confident, military precision. A name surfaces, Gabriel Cruz, former Special Forces turned private security mogul. Officially clean, unofficially untouchable. That night, Mike and Marcus roll through South Beach in Mike's Porsche, neon lights flashing across the windshield. They pull up outside one of Cruz's high-rise developments hosting a charity gala. Music pounds inside as Miami's elite sip champagne. Marcus adjusts his borrowed tux and whispers that he hates rich criminals because they smell expensive. Mike replies that justice smells better. They slip inside. Mike blends into the crowd, charming donors and scanning exits. Marcus heads for the bar and accidentally starts a loud conversation about cholesterol with a famous influencer. Meanwhile, Mike spots Cruz across the room. Smooth smile, ice-cold eyes. Their eyes lock. Cruz raises his glass slightly, almost in salute. Security closes in. The music cuts abruptly as alarms ring. Mike grabs Marcus and they sprint toward the balcony. Gunfire erupts, shattering glass. Guests scream and scatter. They leap from the balcony into the hotel pool below. Bullets rip through the water as they swim underwater toward the edge. Marcus surfaces gasping, yelling that chlorine was not part of the plan. Outside, a fleet of black SUVs screeches away. Mike fires at the tires but they vanish into traffic. Back at the station, the captain explodes with anger. Political pressure is mounting. Cruz has friends in high places. Without solid evidence, they are chasing smoke. Marcus suggests maybe they let the younger detectives handle it. Mike stares at the evidence board, connecting lines between shell companies and offshore accounts. He says Cruz is building something bigger. The convoy was just funding. Their break comes from an unexpected source. A hacker known as Ghost reaches out anonymously, claiming Cruz is assembling a private army using stolen military tech. In exchange for immunity, Ghost offers access to Cruz's encrypted servers. Marcus is skeptical. Mike is already grabbing his jacket. They meet Ghost in an abandoned arcade in Little Havana. Neon signs flicker over dusty machines. Ghost turns out to be a young woman with a laptop covered in stickers and a sharp attitude. She projects blueprints onto the wall. A cargo shipment arriving at the port of Miami. Inside, advanced drone systems capable of autonomous strikes. Mike realizes Cruz plans to auction the tech to international buyers. A bidding war of criminals. The next night, the port becomes a battlefield. Containers tower like steel skyscrapers as ships blast their horns in the distance. Mike and Marcus sneak between crates, tracking the signal from Ghost's device. Armed guards patrol with night vision goggles. Marcus whispers that this feels like a video game he never wanted to play. Mike signals silence. They plant trackers on the shipment but are spotted. Gunfire echoes across the docks. Mike slides under a truck, firing with precision. Marcus ducks behind barrels, yelling commentary about retirement plans. A drone suddenly powers up, lifting into the air with a mechanical whine. Its targeting system locks onto police cruisers approaching the scene. Mike sprints and leaps onto a crane ladder, climbing as bullets spark against metal. Marcus commandeers a forklift and rams it into a stack of crates, creating cover for officers. Mike reaches the crane controls and swings a suspended container directly into the airborne drone. The impact sends it crashing into the bay in a burst of sparks. Cruz watches from a distant yacht, unimpressed. He orders his men to fall back. This was merely a test. With the tracker active, Mike and Marcus follow Cruz's convoy to an abandoned airfield in the Everglades. Storm clouds gather overhead, thunder rumbling like distant artillery. Inside a massive hangar, buyers from around the world inspect rows of weaponized drones. Cruise addresses them confidently, promising a new era of warfare without soldiers. Mike and Marcus crash the party in spectacular fashion, driving a confiscated armored truck straight through the hangar doors. The impact sends sparks flying and buyers diving for cover. A full-scale firefight erupts. Lightning flashes through broken windows, illuminating chaos. Marcus takes cover behind a crate, shouting that he officially withdraws from this madness. Mike pushes forward, determined to reach Cruise. Ghost hacks the drone control system remotely, causing several units to malfunction mid-launch. Some crash into each other, others spiral into the roof. Cruise confronts Mike on a catwalk above the hangar floor. Rain pours through holes in the ceiling as thunder shakes the structure. Cruise mocks Mike's loyalty to a broken system. Mike responds that some systems are worth fighting for. They exchange brutal blows, fists slamming against metal railings. Below them, Marcus fights his way up the stairs, muttering about bad knees and worse decisions. Cruise pulls a knife, slashing Mike's arm. Mike counters, disarming him and sending the blade skidding across the catwalk. Another lightning strike blinds them momentarily. Mike tackles Cruise through a weakened section of railing. They crash onto a stack of crates below. Cruise tries to reach a detonator in his pocket, planning to destroy everything and escape in the chaos. Marcus slides across the floor and kicks it away at the last second. Police flood the hangar as the storm reaches its peak. Cruise is finally cuffed, his empire exposed. Weeks later, Miami returns to its rhythm. The skyline glows peacefully again. Mike and Marcus sit on the hood of the Porsche, watching the sunset over the ocean. Marcus talks about spending more time with family, maybe even considering early retirement. Mike laughs and reminds him he says that every year. A radio call crackles to life with news of another high-speed pursuit downtown. Marcus closes his eyes briefly, then looks at Mike with a reluctant grin. They hop into the car. Tires screech as they race toward the flashing lights in the distance. Some partnerships are louder than sirens and stronger than explosions. And as long as Miami burns bright, the bad boys will be there to answer the call.